Hey Patreon, this is Travis. Thank you for stopping by to watch. This video may eventually end up somewhere else, but I wanted to give it to you first. And what we're going to talk about is how to stock up on enough food to live. I get this question a lot, emails from people, and they'll say, hey, if I've got X amount of pounds of beans and rice and a family of this and that, is that enough? Well, I'll tell you what, there's an easy way, and there are other ways to figure how much food you need. But for me, this is the easiest way, and it's just pure calories. Calories, it's the fuel that we live off of, okay? Our bodies function because of calories. That's the gasoline that goes in our bodies. Now, yes, we need nutrition too. The nutrition helps our body to heal and to improve and to fix things. So there's more than just calories. I mean, I'm not saying go out and buy enough sugar that you can just eat spoonfuls of sugar every day for, during the apocalypse. You can't do that. But when figuring out how much food, I always go by calories. It's just easier to figure that way. And so I want to give you some examples of that. Now, how much calories per day should you figure? Well, of course, the national average of, nutrition, blah, 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 says 2,000 calories for the average person, 2,500 for, big guy, a man, or something like that. You also have to figure that if you have smaller children, they're going to be eating less than 2,000 calories, maybe. I've got kids that probably out-eat me, but anyways. But here's the thing, if it's the doo-doos hit the fan, you're homesteading, you're out there gardening, farming, hunting, patrolling, securing, all this kind of stuff, scavenging, whatever you're doing, you're going to be burning off more than what you were sitting in your office cubicle or whatever it is. So you're probably going to need way more than 2,000 calories. In fact, when soldiers go off to war, they expect to be burning between 4,000 and 6,000 calories a day. So you need to keep that in mind. I personally would estimate at least 3,000 calories per day. Now that's not what I'm getting ready to show you or give you. We're gonna go with just 2,000 calories a day. Let's just make it easy, 2,000 calories. But if it was 3,000 calories, of course that means it's more food. Excuse me. These are some numbers I crunched. I'm not going to tell you every type of food and how much you need. Or anything like that, but I just wanted to give you some numbers. And this kind of stuff, you can find information on the internet. Like a pound of white rice has 589 calories. All you have to do is just do a Google search or whatever for calories in a pound of rice, calories in a pound of this or pound of that. Now, it may not give you that always. Sometimes it gives you the calories by the cup, which is easy to figure too, because it usually tells you how many grams is in that cup, and it's different because of the volume of whatever food it is. And then I believe it's 453 grams is in a pound. So you just do the math of, well, if a cup is this many grams, then how many of those cups are in a pound? You just have to know math. It's not hard, really. So a pound of rice is 589 calories. So if you stored up 300 pounds of rice, you would have 176,700 calories. If you had a pound of beans, that's 1,567 calories. 300 pounds of beans is 470,100 calories. A pound of flour has 1,651 calories. 300 pounds of flour has 495,300 calories. A pound of oatmeal has 306 calories. 300 pounds of oatmeal has 91,800 calories. A can of green beans, just to give you an example, the average can of green beans has 70 calories in it. So for a 24 can flat, which is generally what the big flats are, you're looking at 1,680 calories for that entire 24 pack of green beans. So if we're going to go at 2,000 calories a day, and again, I highly recommend a minimum of 3,000 calories a day, even if you have younger children, because if you're an adult size, guy, you're out working, you're going to burn 3,000 plus calories. You're going to need it. You're going to lose weight eating 3,000 calories a day. And the same thing with women. You in the when the SHTF happens and you're out doing all your stuff, you know, surviving, gardening, taking care of animals, cutting wood, splitting wood, all that kind of stuff, you're going to lose weight at 3,000 calories a day. But let's just say 2,000 calories. For a family of 4, that's 8,000 calories a day minimum. Minimum. That's 240,000 calories a month and 2,880,000 calories in 1 year for a family of 4. So if we just took those dry goods that I mentioned just a second ago, rice, beans, flour, and oatmeal, those combined total 1,233,900 calories. So if you had 300 pounds of rice, 300 pounds of beans, 300 pounds of flour, and 300 pounds of oatmeal, you have a little over 1.2 million calories, which ends up being about 5.14 months of food. So 5 months and a few days worth of food. Having 300 pounds of those 4 items, okay? That's 1,200 pounds of food, food is only going to get you through 5 months. Some other things. Pasta has 1,600 calories per pound. So that's 160,000 calories for, say, 100 pounds of pasta. So 100 pounds of pasta would be 3 weeks worth of food for a family of 4. Peanut butter is very calorie dense. We stock up a lot on peanut butter. You can use it in lots of different recipes. It's good for just, taking a spoonful of peanut butter. It's fast food. Peanut butter has 2,665 calories per pound. So if you had 100 pounds of peanut butter, that would be 266,500 calories, or just a little over a month's worth of food for a family of 4. Now, of course, you don't want to eat peanut butter every day for a month. I mean, if you had to survive, you would, but you don't want to. So you have to supplement this. That's why, you want to diversify your food preps as much as you can. What I tell people, and this is exactly what we do, we stock up on the dry goods, the ones that I mentioned there, and maybe a couple of others. Beans, rice, oatmeal, flour, cornmeal, a couple of different types of beans. Pinto beans, Great Northern beans, and of course the rice. What's some of the others? Of course we have sugar, we have wheat, because we grind our own wheat. So we stock up on whole wheat. It lasts a lot longer than flour, wheat that's already been ground. Pasta, we stock up a lot on dry good pasta. Let's see, we do a few things like some lentils and things like that. We stock up on those. Then we stock up on other things. Canned foods, we have a variety of canned foods, a variety of canned peaches, canned fruit, canned meat like tuna and chicken, pasta sauces, things like that. And then, of course, on top of those things that are purchased, we are canning, preserving food out of our garden. And so the idea is that these dry goods are kind of a filler food. They're a filler calorie, because, look at what I said here. 24 cans of green beans is about the same amount of calories as 1 pound of flour. So it takes a lot of calories in your vegetables. So you're not getting your calories out of your vegetables. You get a little bit more out of fruit. But basically, those are where you're getting your nutrition, okay? Your calories, you have to have calorie dense. We're not talking about losing weight and all. You're going to lose weight anyways. You need to be focused on the amount of fuel you're putting in your body. And of course, you want good, healthy fuel as much as possible. If you can afford it and find organic, that's great. But if not, you do what you can. The fact is you need the calories. That's going to be the most important thing. You can take the calories that you eat, and then you can supplement with the vegetables from cans, the vegetables from your garden, the wild stuff that's growing all over your property. Learn to wild forage. That's why I tell people, learn to wild forage. Sure, you're not going to live necessarily off of the land in most places. You'd have to have a lot of land to live off the land, like that, foraging. But what you do is you supplement your beans and your rice and your cornmeal and your flour and your oatmeal and all that kind of stuff with certain edible plants and fruits and nuts and berries and stuff that grow in wild. because they have way, way more nutrition than any type of cultivated food. And of course, you also are amending it with vegetables that you grow. This is how you figure your food. You need to figure out how many people in your family. There are 2 people, 4 people, 6 people, 8 people. Okay, well then how many calories do you need to have for 1 year? Okay, maybe you don't have 1 year. Maybe you're far away from getting 1 year food. Doesn't matter. 1 year. Then of course you take that number and you divide it by 12 and you get how many calories you need for 1 month. Okay, and then start looking at the things that you've been purchasing. Have you been purchasing 5 pounds of flour here and there? Have you been purchasing, oatmeal and bags of beans and bags of rice and, boxes of cereal and things of mayonnaise? Start figuring up how many calories. Just go through, look at it. It'll tell you, you use 10 servings in a bottle and there's, 100 calories per serving. Well, that means that there's 1,000 calories in that entire container. So figure up how many calories that you have in your prepper pantry. And then that'll tell you how many days you can live off of it. Can you live off of it 30 days, 60, 90, 6 months, a year, whatever it is. And that's a real easy way to figure it out. And of course you want to, like I said, have some diversity, some variety, so that you're not just eating beans and rice every day. You want to have your seasoning, spices, salt, things like that to add with it. But if you're looking at just to keep you alive, if you were in some kind of Mad Max scenario where there was no food whatsoever, all life has been exterminated except the few of us that survived. How much food do you need just to live off of? Just to keep your body functioning. And that's where the calories come in. Again, yes, we don't want to discount all the other healthy stuff, the healthy oils, the healthy vegetables, the protein from the meats, and other places you can get proteins. But in prepping, the very basics, just look at the calories. And how many calories do you have stocked up total? How many calories does your family need to live off of on a daily and a monthly basis? And then just basic simple math will tell you how much food you have on hand. Don't just guess, don't look at it and say, there's 6 months of food there. You may only have 30 days of food. Do this, take the time. Get your piece of paper out, write down, green beans. Okay, I got 24 cans of green beans, 70 calories per can. That's this many calories, and then keep going on and so forth, and then add it all together. You can write it on a little notebook, paper, clipboard, and at the end, add it all up with a calculator. And that's a good way to figure out how much food you have and how much food you're storing. Because in the end, at the end of the day, when it comes to survival, it's all about the calories. That's what you want to focus on first, is the calories, because you're talking about surviving. And then from there on, you add in your nutrition. So that is the simplest way that I have found to figure out how much food you have and how much food you need to ride out the apocalypse. All right, folks, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.